All right, let's walk through solving for x in this specific problem. So there's a few different ways you can go about doing this. We have to use the information we already know. So when I'm looking at this, I automatically see this symbol, which tells me that this would be equal to 90 degrees, and this would be this angle right here. So there's a few ways based on that I can go about this. In addition to that, I know that this straight line right here, so all of these angles would be equal to 180 degrees. And the reason why is because any straight angle is equal to 180 degrees. So therefore, if I know that that is equal to 180 and the other angle is equal to 90, that means that these two put together would have to also equal 90 because, of course, 90 plus 90 equals 180. So a few different ways you guys can go about this. You could have added all these to equal 180, or something I'm going to do to simplify this process a little bit is I am just going to set these two angles, since I'm solving for x, to 90, since I know that this has to equal 90 since we already know the other one does. So that's what I'm going to do. I am going to say 4x minus 30 plus 2x equals 90. Now, Mrs. Stroh, how do you know to add those two? Because remember, we know that these two angles have to add up to 90 degrees if this one is also 90, since we know that the straight angle equals 180. Okay, so from here, we're just going to go ahead and move forth with how we know we solve for a variable. So in this case, I'm going to start with combining like terms. I see 4x and I see 2x. They're both positive. I'm going to combine those. And what do I do to do that? I just add the coefficients. So 4 plus 2 is 6. And then just plop the variable on the end, 6x. So 6x minus 30 equals 90. And let's continue with the process of solving. I know I want to use inverse operations in order to isolate the variable. So when I want to get rid of something, I have to do the opposite. So 6x minus 30 equals 90. The opposite of minus 30 is going to be plus 30. Minus 30 and plus 30 will cancel, and I'll also add 30 to this other side. So I'm left with 90 plus 30, which is 120, and I know 6x equals 120. Now I have one final step to solve for x. And in order to do that, I would have to do the opposite. So 6x tells me multiplying by 6. The opposite would be dividing by 6. So 6 divided by 6 is going to cancel to 1. And 120 divided by 6 is going to leave me with 20, because I know 12 divided by 6 is 2. So x equals 20. And before you trust what I just told you, let's actually make sure this makes sense when we plug it in. So if we did 4 times 20, that would give us 80 minus 30. So that would tell us that this angle right here was 50 degrees. And then if we did 2 times 20, that would tell us this angle over here was 40 degrees. And of course, 50 plus 40 plus 90 would be 90 plus 90, which is equal to 180 degrees. Therefore, we know this check makes sense with what we know about these angles. All right, and then if it asks you about the measure of a specific angle, so for example, I know this question asks you about the measure of angle BQC. Now, anytime you're finding the measure of a specific angle, just find those, in this case, letters. So B, Q, and C are right here. So that's talking about this angle right here. B, Q, C. And we already determined when we checked that that angle would be equal to, in this case, 40 degrees. So once you already solve for x, just plug it in, and that would tell you what your missing angle would be equal to. All right, hope that helped you.